Hello, and welcome back to Yosuga and Sora. Let's get started with today's read-through. Wow, it's already evening. It was morning when I got to school, but by the time we started heading back, the sun was already setting. Just like in a story I had heard when I was young, a karase flew above us, cawing as if it was lonely. Perhaps that sense of loneliness got to me too, and I tightened my grip on Kazuha's hand. I'm sorry for holding you up for so long.
はるかのことをいっぱい聞けて楽しかったから。
We ended up talking for a while in the room. After we cleaned the tables, we were pretty sure no one else would come, so we didn't see any harm in staying. I told her about my life before moving here, things about Sora, my parents, and the school I went to, and the city. Kazuha also talked a lot about herself. We never went anywhere though.
そうね。忘れちゃうほど楽しかったってことかしら。
Doing something like that once in a while isn't bad.
たまにって二人で遊びに行くことだってほとんどないじゃない。
Yeah, that's true.
今度はちゃんと遊びに行きましょうね。
I'll go pick someplace interesting. Since we started going out, we haven't had a day like that. Well, we've only known each other for a little over 2 months in the first place. Man, that is so quick. Well, that happens. There's a lot I don't know about Kazuha, but it's for that very reason that learning about her, bit by bit, is so fun and rewarding. It's probably the same for her, since she was listening to my every word with a smile. Now that I think about it, it's probably the first time I've told someone about my life before I moved here. I hadn't realized that even once while talking about it. When I think of it that way, it is a little odd.
おーい、カズちゃん、はるくん。
Wait, something came up. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I forgot to mention today's Yosuga and Sora will be shorter. It will be like 1 hour-ish. I'm still gonna read Sakura Moyu, and I did start very late. Like it's already 8:30 p.m. Had to work a little bit more than usual. Anyway, let's get to reading.
この声。
At the sound of that voice approaching from behind, we let go of each other's hands. I know that voice, and distinct creaking of bike chains anywhere. Just as I thought, I turned around to see Amatsume and her signature bike.
ああ、はるくんも制服だね。はるくんも学校行ってたんだ。
I came to pick up some printouts I missed while I was gone.
それはお疲れ様だね。カズちゃんはどうだった？ええ、まあまあって感触だったわ。
Do you know why she was at school?
この前、嬉しそうに話してくれたよ。アキラ、そんなこと言わなくてもいいでしょ？
You didn't seem too eager when you told me earlier. Were you actually that excited?
もう、春日野くんまでからかって。
It's because you're never honest. Amatsume, were you helping out somewhere again? I spotted a hammer, strange cables, and some yasai lying in her bike basket. I was struggling to figure out what they could have been for. Maybe she had to help out more than one person.
今日はいろいろはしごしたかな。蚊帳の修理をして、エアコンのフィルター掃除もしたし、スイカの収穫とかも。
Being helpless as usual.
お祭りでもお世話になったし、みんなにはお返ししなきゃね。これからも2件予約入ってるんだ。行ってくるね。
It was already evening, and she's still helping out? The only thing that beats Amatsume's popularity is how much energy she has.
私にも何か手伝えることある？ カズちゃん今日は大変だったからいいよ。私一人で大丈夫。じゃあね。
Amatsume said goodbye, then hopped back on her bike and pedaled away, her bike chain squeaking as she left. She sure has a lot of energy. I bet she doesn't even know that what summer laziness is.
そうね。無茶して倒れなきゃいいけど。
I suppose she's the type to run around until she reaches her limit, and then suddenly collapse with a plonk.
不吉なこと言わないで。
Go man, but you warned her against that, right? We'll be fine then.
そうね。
We watched Amatsume speed away, and when she had gotten far enough away, we clasped hands once more. We barely let go just before Amatsume arrived. I wonder if she saw anything. She didn't say anything, so I think we're okay. I wonder when it will be safe to tell everyone that we're going out. Halfway there, on my way up to the jinja, I noticed the cicadas were making a different sound. It wasn't just a monotonous chirping like usual. I could hear a few modulations in pitch. Everyone just lumps all these kinds of bugs together and call them cicadas, but I guess there are different types with various characteristics. It sounds obvious, but I hadn't realized it at all.
はるか、木なんか見上げてどうしたの？
Just wondering what the chirping cicada is.
何？その年になってまだセミ取りしてるの？まるでアキラね。
Do you really think that? Was a little curious, is all. But if we went hunting together, that would be something.
いやよ、私はそんな子供じみたことできないわ。
Why are you so against it? Don't tell me that you're afraid of bugs.
違うわよ。走り回ったり山へ入ったりするのが嫌なだけよ。
Hi, I get it. No bug hunting.
まだ誤解してるんじゃないの？
I don't know, but I don't think so. But enough of that. Were you going somewhere? I was headed to the jinja, but obviously I was hoping Kaza would be there. So now there's no real reason to go to the jinja since she's already right in front of me.
私もよ。アキラとあなたがいるかもしれないって。
Oh. I mean, you guys could text, no, email. That's what they call it back then. Huh?
なんて言われたら嬉しい？
Were you joking? Please don't surprise me like that.
冗談だなんて言ってないけど。
Huh? This time I really was surprised and stared at her dumbfounded. I also was hoping you would be there, so maybe it really is true that couples can read each other's minds. My heart filled with warmth. So, this is what happiness feels like.
一緒に行きましょうか。
Ah. And just as we reach out to hold hands.
お二人さん、どこに行くのかな？
Ryohei!
おいおい、そんなに驚かなくてもいいだろ。ちょっと草場の陰から出てきただけじゃないか。
だったら本当に草場の陰に送ってあげるわよ。あなたって人はいつも
おお、今日はいつになく足数がハゲボー。
私の邪魔ばっかりして。
カズちゃんだけにてハゲしゃ。
二度と帰ってくるんじゃないわよ。
あれ
Kazuha kicked one last time before delivering the finishing blow, launching Ryohei into a paddy field. Wow, she seriously banished him to the realm of the bushes. Is he okay? It doesn't look like he's going to be on his feet for a while.
二度と出てこなければいいのよ。
I don't think that would be good. I feel a little bad for him. He was only trying to surprise us.
ちょっとしたジョークだ。
だったらせめて笑えることしなさいよ。まったく付き合ってられません。さようなら。
カズちゃん行っちゃうの？
She shot him a parting glare, then straightened her shoulders and stormed off.
おっかねえの。
Why are you here?
なんだよ、はるかまで怒ってんのか？
I wasn't trying to be, but I might have let the loneliness I felt from Kazuha leak into my voice and expression. I need to be careful not to let anything slip.
まあ何をするも何もフラフラしてたらお前らを見かけたんで声かけただけだけどな。さすがにそれだけで蹴飛ばされるとは思わなかったけどな。
No matter how you look at it, you were trying to surprise us.
見解の相違ってやつだな。黙るなよ、寂しいだろ。
I guess I can relate to having nothing else to do.
ほんでお前とお嬢は何か用事あったのか？
Nothing much, but
じゃあ俺と同じだな。しかし釣れないね。お嬢も用事ねえなら俺らに付き合えばいいのによ。ま、最近のお嬢ははるかと一緒にいるのが多いみてえだからな。たまには別行動ってことが。
I've been surprised how many times today I lost count, but this one topped them all.
いや昔のお嬢はアキラにべったりだったんだけどな。心境の変化でもあったのかね。
I wonder what happened. Don't tell me. Have they found out about us? Or do they only know part of the situation? Like us being together often. Wish I knew for sure, but asking him would only make things worse.
お前さ、お嬢んちの車で出かけたりしたか？
Why do you ask? He's not talking about our trip to the next town, is he?
隠すなよ。別に責めてるわけじゃないんだぜ。
What do you mean then?
誰と仲良くなろうとうまくいくならそれでいいのさ。俺は応援するぜ。
It's hard to believe that you say it with such a goofy smile.
応援するぜ。
That's even worse.
真面目に言ってんだけどな、俺は。
Then why did you go and make her so angry?
こんな話、お嬢の前でできると思うのか？
Never mind how Kazuha would react to this talk. I don't even want her to know about it. So you wanted to have a talk with just the two of us.
ああ、はるか、お前だけは誰にも渡さないぜ。
Okay, bro? Ryohei suddenly came close to me and reached for my hand. Without thinking, my hand shot out. I knew you were joking!
当たり前だろ。んなもん成り行きに決まってるだろうが。けどはるかもいいパンチ持ってんな。お嬢といい勝負だぜ。
I'm not keen on having such a fight. Whatever. I'm off too.
お嬢によろしくな。
Mikawa-san has nothing to do with this. What's with him? What's up with him? Jeez. After leaving Ryohei, I eventually came to the jinja as originally planned. I didn't really have anywhere else to go. Plus, there was a chance Kazuha had gone here too.
春日野くんもこっちに来たのね。
Well, I didn't originally plan to come here. Where's Amatsume? Not here? Kazuha stood alone in the shrine grounds. I always thought that Amatsume would be cleaning the place whenever I came, so this was rather unexpected. The ground was spotless. There wasn't a single leaf, piece of trash, or speck of dust to be found. She must have just cleaned the place.
アキラは出かけたみたい。あの人は？
I left Ryohei a while ago. I got the impression he was going to tease me the whole way.
それじゃあまた二人っきりね。
Maybe. Amatsumi could return at any point, right?
置き手紙があったのよ。またお手伝いに行くって。
Oh, are you gonna do something in the shrine? The shrine? Written on the paper ripped from the notebook was a note addressed to Kazuha. It read, I've gone out to help people. That's Amatsumi for you.
そのうち戻ってくると思うけど、どうする？待ってる？
Sure. If you're going to wait for her, I guess I'll do the same.
それって私といたいだけなんじゃない？
You can say that.
この間の教室みたいなことはダメだからね。いつアキラが戻るかわからないもの。
気をつけて。
それじゃあどうする？まだ暑いから母屋で待ってる？
Why don't we go up to the lake then? It's cool there too.
いいわよ。だけど人気がないからって。
You sure are suspicious. Am I really that untrustworthy?
教室で迫ってくるような人、信用なんかできません。
Just gonna do it in the lake, huh? I can't really argue with that, huh? Ah, 大丈夫か？
ええ、少し足を滑らせただけだから。ありがとう。
I'm just glad you're okay. Do you want to keep holding hands like this? Wow, we are so close. And so we climbed the animal trail, leading up from the back of the jinja. Then we exited the dense forest and arrived at the lake. A cool breeze swept through Kazuha's hair.
ここはいつもいい風が吹くわね。
Kazuha daintily tried to stop her hair from blowing around. She was beautiful as always. Wait, she just warned me about this. Stop thinking weird thoughts.
どうしたの？そんなに首をブンブン振って。
Nothing. This really is a great place, huh? It's a bit of pain getting here, but I like it.
夏にはいいわよね。涼しいし、湖は綺麗だし。ね、入ってみない？
At the lake? You brought your Mizuki with you?
何言ってるのよ。靴を脱ぐだけ。変なこと考えないでよ。もう本当にエッチなんだから。
Gomen, but are swimsuits Mizuki really that perverted?
そう言われるとエッチじゃないかもしれないけど、はるかに見られると思うと照れくさいんだもの。
It'll be fine if it wasn't me.
ええ、はるかはどう思うだろうって考えると不安とか期待とかいろいろ考えちゃって。
You're so cute.
何よ急に。
I just said the first thing that came to my mind.
もうはるかって本当にずるいわ。
But you really are cute.
バカ。
We passed the time like that. And before we realized it, the sky was starting to change colors.
遅いわ。アキラに何かあったんじゃ。
By the time we returned for the lake, the sound of the... I think around this time when you say Higurashi, then the Semitori. Higurashi changed too. They made a lonely sound, which I think matched the sunset perfectly. But hearing the sound when you're waiting for someone like this just invites sadness. If only Amatsumi had a... What? Ketai Denwa. Okay, sorry. Ketai Denwa. We could call her. I was about to say Ketai Bango, which is cell phone number. Anyway, Kazuha and I can get in touch with each other anytime with our Ketai, but we can't do that with Amatsumi. I don't like how there's nothing we can do to check on her. Then the sound of distant footsteps and jangling of butt came filtered in. Our eyes followed the noise to the stairs leading to the shrine road. Amatsumi climbed into view. She was wearing her Miko outfit and pushing the bike up the stairs.
カズちゃん、はるくん。
Man, that's kind of a little hard, huh? Well, I don't know, man. She might have some sort of incline or something. I don't know, man. Amatsume's smile was so nonchalant. It made us feel silly for worrying.
ただいまカズちゃん、ハルくん。遅かったわね。何かあったの？おばあちゃんのところでスイカごちそうになったりしてたらこんな時間になっちゃった。そう、何もなかったならよかったけど。お疲れ様。
Kazuha started reaching out to hug Amatsume.
ごめんね。今からひろ姉ちゃんのご飯作りに行かなきゃだから。
Her hands didn't reach Amatsume. Kazuha awkwardly extended her hands, puzzled as Amatsume wheeled her bike. She paused and turned to Amatsume, seemingly wanting to cling to her. And Amatsume just parked her bike under the main wing's overhanging roof, and without changing, approached the stairs.
ハルくん、ありがとね。いつもカズちゃんに付き合ってくれて。
That's nothing worth thanking me for.
これからもカズちゃんの相手よろしくね。もうアキラたら何言ってるのよ。待っててもらったのに付き合えなくてごめんね。行ってきまーす。
Amatsume waved goodbye to us with her whole body, then charged down the stairs. She comes home for 1 second, then she has to go make dinner for Yahiro-san, huh? She really does have it rough.
伊福部さんも少しは自分でされたらいいのに。
Yahiro-san's cooking, huh? I wonder how that would be. I can't imagine it. I wouldn't have thought Amatsume made all the meals, so I assumed she'd cook some herself, but I'm getting the impression that Yahiro does the housework just as often as she cooks.
あの人のだらしのなさは筋金入りよ。アキラもどうしてあんな人を構うのかしら。
I assume it's because Akira knows that Yahiro-san cherishes her. I recall the things that Yahiro-san said before Natsuyasumi began. She said that Amatsume was like a balloon and needed to be tied down. Yahiro-san's probably trying to be the anchor that keeps Amatsume from floating away. Until one day, when Amatsume can become a bird and fly away on her own, instead of a balloon that just gets swept away by the wind.
あなた、何を言ってるの？
Kazuha probably hasn't heard Yahiro-san's story before. I could see the obvious surprise in her face. Yahiro-san's a good person. I don't know whether to call her terrible or scary, but she's a force to be reckoned with. So much so that you fear for your life when she's angry.
悪い人ではないのはわかるけど、だからっていい人とは限らないわ。
If you have a serious talk with her, I think you'll understand.
あなたの方が付き合いが浅いのに、どうしてそう分かったようなことを言えるのよ。まあいいわ。あの人のことを考えて気分を悪くすることもないものね。
You're kind of childish when you sulk like that.
どういうこと？
How do I put it? You remind me of someone who's just had their toys taken away.
おもちゃって、アキラのことよね。アキラをおもちゃだなんて思ったことないわ。
It's just an example, that's all. I could have been turning you down a lot recently. All of a sudden, she went silent.
そうね。
What if Akira knows and that's her way of like, she's trying to be considerate. I think Akira knows because obviously she saw them holding hands or something. But let's see. Unless Akira is having her own thing right now, I don't know. And then her eyes sank to the ground.
アキラ、最近ずっと忙しいわ。
Yeah, it's actually very, very busy. She is popular after all. She just said she was treated to a suika today. But I'm sure she got a lot of other things. I think she called them parishioners. Parishioners? I don't even know what that is. She goes around the houses of people that worship at the jinja.
ええ。そういうのも管理の一環だから。
Kazuha was so depressed. It sounded like she couldn't believe her own words.
何か手伝えたらいいんだけど。
For some reason, I couldn't even manage a simple yeah, and she just kept muttering away. I can't just nod my head and agree like I'm not listening. That's how I felt at least. Has this become a daily ritual? It's not like I do it every day, but I am going to the Jinja pretty often these days. Although going to the Jinja just to see Kazuha is probably sacrilegious, but today I have a real reason. That being an email sent yesterday. An email yesterday from Kazuha. She asked if I wanted to do our summer homework together. Amatsume will also be there, so we can't do anything in the open. But if we say that Kazuha is teaching me, then even if we got too close, we have an excuse. Amatsume! Miwa-san!
Haru-kun! Irashai!
I was still mulling over those thoughts of Kazuha when I entered the grounds. Immediately, Amatsume bounced over to greet me without setting down her broom. Huh? Were you in the middle of cleaning?
カズちゃんも手伝ってくれたからもう終わるとこだよ。いらっしゃい、春日野くん。あとは片付けるだけだから少し待ってて。ああ、いいよいいよ。カズちゃんはもう中に入ってて。残りは私がやっとくから。何言ってるの、アキラ。
Yeah, since we're all out here anyway, I'll help clean too. It's better we finish quickly than study together, right?
それがね。
Kinda makes you think. I think Akira knows that she's trying to be considerate or something. Amatsume started filling with the broom.
せっかく来てくれたのにごめんなんだけど、今日も助っ人に呼ばれてるの。
Unless there's also possibly Akira might be feeling a little something that she's like, she decides to keep herself busy. I don't know. She's one of the few people that actually knows Haru before, like, when he came back, right? Anyway.
なんで今日は宿題するって。ごめんね。でも私がいなくてもハルくんと一緒だったら退屈しないよね。
Yeah, I suspect that's what she's doing. Just being considerate. But I think not to a degree that's not like, you know, we'll be doing homework, so it's not about being bored or not.
ああ、そっか。でもハルくんなら大丈夫だよ。そんなことないわ。アキラはアキラ、ハルカはハルカよ。
Kazuha?
どうしたの、カズちゃん。お顔怖くなってるよ。そんなことないわよ。でもアキラが手伝いに出るなら私も宿題なんかしてられない。私も手伝うわ。何かできることくらいあるでしょ。でもいろいろ大変だよ。何軒もお家回ってお話聞いて困ってたらお手伝いするんだよ。
All the more reason with stuff. There has to be something we can help with, right?
ありがとう。気持ちだけもらうね。でもせっかくの夏休みなんだし2人で遊んでくるといいよ。ああ、今日はお勉強の日なんだっけ。
It was the same laugh as always, but for some reason it felt like Amatsume was forcing herself today. But that's not to say it was a forced laugh. It's just that her laugh made us uncomfortable instead of happy. Don't you want to hang out with us too? Sometimes?
そうだね。また一緒に遊びたいね。そうよ。
It sounded almost like a groan.
でもあんまりお邪魔したら悪いし。
Oh yeah, there you go, there you go, there you go. There you go, there you go. Akira, there you go. She is aware. Get in the way? Chama. Neither of us say anything against her innocent refusal. And Amatsume kept smiling while she looked at both of us.
ハルくん、これからもカズちゃんをよろしくね。アキラ、お似合いだよね。美人さんのカズちゃんと都会っ子系のハルくん、美男美女のカップルだ。
I think Akira's not thinking this well. There's something, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right, man. It doesn't feel right. Yose. She talked as if she knew all along. It made me feel a bit awkward and guilty.
嫌だった。ごめんね。
It's not that, but
私とアキラは今まで通りのお友達だよ。友達？そうなのお姉ちゃん。どうしたのカズちゃん。変だよ。変じゃないわお姉ちゃん。それでいいの？
Kazuha looked at Amatsume with the eyes of a puppy being abandoned, as if Kazuha was saying that she was the one who couldn't accept that.
カズちゃんのしたいことに口挟めないよ。私よりハルくんをしっかり見てあげて。
Amatsume held her gaze and smiled, unfazed. And still smiling, she put the broom behind her and took a step back.
それじゃ私はしっかり働いてきます。
Yeah, you know what? I feel like there's a two-layer thing going on here. You know, she really wants to be like considered to Kazuha, but I also think there's something. I mean, I'll find out in her route maybe, or we'll find out in this route. But I think Akira is like not taking it well. Wait up!
ハルくん、カズちゃんよろしくね。
With one big final wave, she left. We were frozen there, dumbfounded, while we watched her bike shrink into the distance.
分かってたんだ。私たちのこと。
5 or maybe 10 minutes later, Kazuha finally broke the silence with a murmur. Yeah, and even now, Amatsume is thinking about us in her own way. She planned this so that we could be alone. That sort of meddling was too kind of her. Kazuha exhaled a deep sigh of frustration. That kindness was something that she couldn't accept.
お姉ちゃんは私がいなくなったらどうなるの？
Disappear? But you're right here.
お姉ちゃんずっと笑ってた。はるかのことずっと黙ってて隠してたのに。笑ってお似合いだって怒りもしないで認めて。私の方が信じてなかったみたい。私がお姉ちゃんを一人にさせてる。
Give me a second. Something weird happened to my volume. My audio. Okay. Should be back now.
私からアキラの手を離してた。
That's not true. She was just trying to think about us. It's not about letting anyone go or throwing anyone away. I tried to give her some words of comfort. To be honest, I feel like Kazuha's overthinking it. I doubt that Amatsume is holding any grudges against her. But Kazuha, whose tears had stopped her from talking, just shook her head.
違う。私は
She blurted out her heart's true feelings. This was a side of her I had never seen before.
アキラからそうと言われるまで避けられていることに気づかなかった。それほどアキラの態度の変化は自然だった。それほど私はアキラをおろそかにしていた。はるかと一緒にいるのが楽しくてアキラが見えなくなるくらいに。
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that also makes sense. Because Akira was so used to having her around, and then she felt like... Yeah, probably she did also feel that way. I mean, if you're so used to it, like, spending so much time with someone, and then suddenly they just disappear. Anyway.
はるかと過ごしている間アキラを忘れていた私。隠そうとしていてもちょっとした変化はあったろう。勘のいいお姉ちゃんがそれに気づかないわけがなかった。でもどうして避ける必要があるの？
Yeah, that's the thing that's also bothering me. I mean, if she didn't like it, but you know, if she didn't like it, the reason why she doesn't like it is also like a huge factor.
私がアキラをお姉ちゃんを一時でも忘れたから、忘れて楽しんだから、お姉ちゃんのために尽くさなければならない私がお姉ちゃんを一人ぼっちにさせたから。だけど私にそんなつもりはなかった。はるかは好き、お姉ちゃんだって好き。はるかと一緒にいたいからってお姉ちゃんがいなくていいってことじゃない。
Thank God this is a serious more work, because I suddenly thought of a solution. A stupid solution for a lesser work, but this is not a lesser work, so I want to see this drama.
お姉ちゃんにはお父様やお母様、右輪の家のことでずっと気を使わせてきたのよ。
That's right. That is.
なのにこれ以上私のことで気を使うことなんてない。どうしてそれを分かってくれないの？どうしてお姉ちゃんがいなくてもいいなんて言うの？どうして姉妹じゃなくて家族じゃなくて友達だなんて言うの？私がお姉ちゃんを置いてけぼりにして一人で幸せになったから。
Man, that's a terrible way to interpret that, man.
私がはるかと幸せになったから。だからお姉ちゃんは不幸になろうとしてるの。そんなのはダメ。お姉ちゃんは幸せにならなきゃいけない人なんだから。じゃあ私ははるかを手放すの？
Man. Okay, yeah. I know from audience perspective this is kind of frustrating, but if you try to understand what you know, her whole mindset about things, she's wholly confused by the whole thing, and you know, she wants to. I don't know. This is the dilemma, the struggle.
私がまた一人になればきっとお姉ちゃんは戻ってきてくれる。でもはるかと別れるなんて、あの幸せな日々を忘れるなんて。私ははるかが好き、あきらもお姉ちゃんも大切。どうして二人一緒じゃダメなの？どうして片方だけなの？一人しかいてくれないの？
Oh, Akira. I mean, oh, Kazuha. Why do you really think? Why do you really think that's the only way, man? You don't even know Akira's reason for being like that. You're just assuming things. Oh man. Ever since that incident at the Jinja, Kazuha has been wearing a clouded expression. 4 days had passed, and even though I saw her countless times since then, she was always depressed. At one time, I saw her with Amatsume. Shortly after, I got a call from Kazuha.
はるかとここに来るのは久しぶりね。
A while? It's barely been half a month since last time.
あら、そうだった？なんだかずいぶん昔のことな気がするけど。
Let's go out, just you and me. Ever since she invited me yesterday, Kazuha has been smiling. Natsuyasumi is almost over. Let's make the most of today. Without hesitating, I agreed. We're in the next town over right now. We met at Hozumi station and came here by train. We left the Kuruman chauffeur back in Okukozome. Oh, I always have a hard time pronouncing that. Amatsume and everyone else weren't here either. It really was just the two of us.
前に行けなかったお店を回るのもいいけど、新しいお店を開拓するのもいいわよね。
Since we're here anyway, how about a movie? It might be showing something new.
そうね。あ、ちょうど次の上映が始まるみたい。
I always think that a movie for a second date is still a waste. I think the first couple of dates, if you're just going to watch a movie, you're just wasting time. But well, they hang out beyond just going. You know, some people when they date, they literally just meet up, and that's mostly the time they spend time with each other physically. I mean, close proximity to each other, and the rest of the time they just message each other. And then there's like, you know, Kazuha and Haruka, who, you know, they see each other almost every day, I guess. And then going out like this is like a much more evolved, much more higher version, a much more special version of the usual hangout. So I guess this is fine. But the general rule for me is like, second date is just like, I mean, the first few days you just don't watch a movie. You're just sitting there, man. Just looking. It's like you guys are looking. I'm not gonna ramble any further. Let's continue with the story. Hey, you're right. Black Wall. I think that one just started screening.
じゃあこれにしましょう。はるか急いで、始まっちゃうわ。
Yokai, 2 adults, and please make it quick. Wow, that was so cool. With people flying everywhere like that. It was super flashy. I think they call that wire fu. Yeah, Kazuha. I have a bad feeling, guys. Ever since we came out of the cinema, she looked very distracted. I guess it wasn't your kind of movie. It was an action flick, so we rushed in there without thinking. Perhaps we should have taken the time to pick something out. She was ooh and ah while we were watching the film, so it looked like she was enjoying it.
何か言った？
Oh man, she's distracted by whatever the hell she's thinking right now. What is she thinking right now? Nothing much. I was just saying sorry that only I was able to enjoy the movie.
はるかだけってどうして？私も今の映画は面白かったわよ。
Really? If that's the case, that's fine, but if that's what you really thought, then why was she all spaced out?
私、喉が渇いちゃったわ。シアトルに行かない？
There's something sus about this whole thing, man. It's like she's forcing herself right now. Do you want to try out a new topping?
アドショットよね。ちゃんと覚えてるわ。どんな味になるのか楽しみね。
Kazuha, you'll just be more awake, and if your caffeine sensitivity is so low, you're gonna be more anxious than usual. All right, let's see how it goes.
ほんとちょっと苦くなってる。でも気持ちって感じね。元が甘いから。
Yeah, it's not like normal coffee and espresso too. So how about trying one of those next time?
そうね。エスプレッソもあるのよね。今度。
Oh shit! I don't like how she said kondo. She was like thinking, "Are we gonna actually do it next? Is there gonna be a next time?" Ah, she's doing it again. Just like when we walked out of the cinema, her face went blank. She was smiling just a second ago. She looked even happier, like she was having more fun than she did on our last date. But now her face was blank, as if time itself had stopped. Kazuha? Is something wrong?
なんでもないわ。ごめんなさい。さあ、次はどこに行こうかしら。
As the day went on, Kazuha alternated being excited and suddenly going quiet like just then. And somehow I worked it out. Kazuha was still being plagued by her doubts. She hadn't sorted out her feelings.
今日は本当に遊んだわ。
She sat down on a bench and let out a small sigh of exhaustion. I smiled back at her a little, took a seat as well, and then pulled out my ketai to check when the return train would arrive. There aren't many trains that stop at our station. The sky had only just started to turn red. But if we don't leave soon, it might be night once we get home. There's still about 10 minutes until the next train. Next Densha. After that, there doesn't seem to be one for another hour. Oh man, that really sucks. Sounds like a Manhattan to Brooklyn on a Saturday experience. You fuck up one, you miss out on one train, you get fucked. Anyway, she nodded a little stiffly. Was that reluctance towards finishing our date? Or because of something else she was worried about? Do you want to stay here for a bit longer? We can eat dinner here if you want.
春日野くんは帰ってちょうだい。
Oh, shit. Damn, man. Oh, fuck. I don't like this, man. Oh, fuck. Sakura Moe, you better be good today. No, it might make me cry. Who knows? Me? If you have something to do here, then I'll come along too.
春日野くんと一緒なのはここまでにしましょう。
Ah, shit. Oh, man. Ah, fuck. Okay, Sakura Boy better make me cry today or something. I doubt it. It's too early in the story. We're still in the comment around that story. I just realized Kazuha wasn't using my first name, but my surname.
今日で私たちの関係は終わりにしましょう。
It was strange. But after I heard that, I began to understand. That face. Those eyes. This is what she was thinking about the whole time. Once that understanding struck me, I felt like I had been abandoned. Now that I understood what she meant, I didn't want to accept it. A sense of denial was welling within me. What? Nande? Her reply was a hoarse croak.
別に理由なんて。
There can't not be one, right? Until up now, we had so much fun. Her gaze fell all of a sudden. When I saw that look of sadness, I realized I had touched on something sensitive and instantly regretted it. But I kept talking out of fear of being separated from Kazuha. It's because of Amatsume, right?
そうよ。
That delay. I started hating myself for making her feel so bad, for causing her to make such a painful face.
私はこれ以上アキラを一人にできない。
I began to feel depressed for myself. I couldn't even bring a smile on the face of the one I loved.
あなたを振り回して勝手なこと言って傷つけてるのは分かってる。だけどもう私はあなたと付き合えない。
She hesitated when saying that, but her words rang clear. What could I possibly say in response? Kazuha. Just saying her name took everything I had. I couldn't say anything else. Maybe I should throw a tantrum like a child and screaming, "No! No!" Maybe I should try to persuade her, change her mind. But I couldn't do either of those.
ずっと考えていたの。はるかとアキラのこと。そんなこと考えてる自分も嫌になったの。
I watched in silence as Kazuha tried to squeeze out everything.
ごめんなさい。謝って済む問題じゃないのに。
For a brief moment, she turned and ran away. I caught a glimpse of her face. It was streaked with tears. Even though I was the one who got dumped, it was Kazuha who was crying. Around sunset, and the grounds where the lonely chirping of the higurashi echoed, because it's already afternoon. Akira idly sat in front of the steps, leading to the jinja, her back leaning against the offertory box. She was in a daze, eyes fixed on the evening sun as it sank. But upon seeing a silhouette against the wavering red sun, she quickly sat up.
Kazu-chan!
The person coming up the stairs was Kazuha. Like the sun at the edge of the mountains, Kazuha staggered up the stairs, and Akira ran toward her. Whereas Kazuha stopped and waited for Akira to approach her. She bit her lip like she was holding something back. Even though she was face to face with the one she held dear, she couldn't smile. and couldn't help but hate herself for it.
デートはどうだ
Before Akira could finish, Kazuha rushed forward and embraced her. It was a hug of desperation. Kazuha poured all her strength into her trembling arms. And yet there wasn't an ounce of joy in that hug.
どうしたのカズちゃん
Akira's puzzled question calmed Kazuha down.
別れた
Kazuha's reply was just 3 short words.
どうして
Akira, still on the verge of tears, saw her reflection in Akira's inquisitive
あ
eyes.
なたを放っておけないのずっとそばにいるって約束したでしょだからこれでいいの
Refusing to meet Akira's gaze, she shut her own eyes tightly and put all her strength into hugging Akira. While in her heart, she cursed her arms for not listening to her commands. Akira didn't question her any further, nor did she return the hug. All right, how are we escaping this bullshit right now, huh? September 1.
面倒
Although she entered the kitchen with an unenthusiastic comment, I couldn't help but be surprised at how she woke up on her own. I had been preparing myself to deal with her fuzziness.
何
It's nothing. Breakfast is ready.
見ればわかる
Ah. She sat in her chair and silently spread jam onto her toast. I poured some milk into my coffee, then poured some for Sora before sitting down myself. As I settled into the seat across from her, I started thinking. For some reason, it felt a long time since we last did this, even though we see each other eat meals together every day. I sat there wondering, what was that? And then I understood. It's been a while since we ate breakfast together, huh?
どうでもいい
Sora's obviously this is not her route, so Sora's like being an asshole right now. Well, whatever. Have you finished packing for school? She sighed as if I was asking something that I should already know the answer to. I think all these questions were annoying her. A cool breeze blew in from the mountains when I stepped outside. Surprised, I looked around. The paddy fields had also changed from green to yellow. I hadn't noticed it at all, making it all the more surprising. It probably wasn't that sudden of a change. It was just that I hadn't noticed yet. I wonder if that means that up until now, I wasn't paying attention to what was going on around me. Perhaps after I was dumped, I started noticing other things besides Kazuha. Or maybe it's because I couldn't accept being dumped by her, and started to try to think about anything but her. Either way, I was beginning to understand just how tremendous a part of me Kazuha was. Even though I was dumped, it doesn't seem like I'll be able to forget her that easily.
にやけたり落ち込んだり変
Bro, Sora notices everything, man. Even up to now. But, you know, you're not giving her the time of day. But we'll get to her route. Don't worry, guys. I promise. We'll at least get to Sora's route one way or another. She used her words better. Sora spoke while walking alongside me. Then I raised my head. I spotted Namatsume and Kazuha walking on the road on the other side of the paddy field. Before Natsuyasumi started, we used to meet them here at this time. We'd take this road to school together. This is the first time I've seen them use the other road. Though maybe that's just because I'm looking with my eyes clouded by doubt. Kazuha turned to look this way. Should I call out? I didn't know. How should I be treating her? So soon after being dumped. I had no clue. While I was lost in thought, Kazuha averted her eyes when she realized that I was there. Damn. Damn, man. And then she picked up her pace. She was clearly avoiding me.
何立ち止まってるの
That reminded me. She's so stubborn. I wish that was just some sort of coincidence. But I couldn't shake these sad feelings of emptiness. The most painful part wasn't that we broke up. I was trying not to love her anymore. I wonder if Kazuha had also felt this way. Dumping me. For Amatsume's sake. The wooden expression in her face before she turned away. She must have been crying quite a bit. Damn, man. I'm liking this story. I said 1 hour, but
お前ら会いたかったぜ
shit, we might extend. Oh man, alright, let's go. Ryohei, get out of my face! I tried to throw out Ryohei, who pounced on me the moment I stepped into the classroom. The classroom was packed with students, some more in the end of Natsu. Others eagerly awaited a reunion with long-missed friends. But only Ryohei was going around trying to hug someone.
ソラちゃんも俺と会えなくて寂しくなかったかいいつでも胸に飛び込んでおいで
Wait, why is she here? Isn't she in the other class?
うざい。
Sora saw Amatsume. I'm guessing Sora saw Amatsume. She left us with one of her usual cold remarks before heading to her own classroom. Damn, the entire time she was here until she saw Amatsume.
そのきついところも可愛いぜ
りょう兄ちゃん久しぶり
おうアキラも元気にしてたかちっとも焼けてねえじゃねえか
えへずっとお手伝いしてたからごめんね
謝るでない巫女は色白が基本だぜ
That's the kind of line you expect to be accompanied by a thumbs up and flashy white-toothed smile. But unfortunately, Ryohei's teeth are hideous. I feel bad for the guy, man. You just trash talked the guy.
ありがとうりょう兄ちゃんも白くて綺麗だよ
Amatsume. That's not a compliment for a man.
アキラ
りょう兄ちゃん
Those two enthusiastically spread their arms, almost comically wide, and then wrapped them around each other in a big hug.
中里先輩その手は何をするつもりですか
And Kazuha picks the perfect time to intervene.
なんだカズちゃんも抱きしめてほしいのかしょうがねえなほらこっち来い
あなたにカズちゃん呼ばわりされる筋合いはありませんそれに私はもちろんアキラにも指一本触れないでください
Man, no chill.
じゃあカズちゃんは私がギューってしてあげるね何よ急にこらやめなさいアキラ
Amatsume clung to her and childishly rubbed her cheek against Kazuha's. Ryohei burst out laughing and grabbing the attention of all our classmates, who started grinning at the silly and familiar sight. It was the exact same scene we had seen before Natsuyasumi. The two girls had a deep, intimate relationship that nobody could ever sever. For long, Ryohei would have teased Kazuha too much, and probably receive a barrage of kicks from her. These outcomes are so predictable. It's almost like they're scripted. Would Kazuha have wanted this relationship to last forever? She always stays within arm's reach of Amatsume, always protecting her like this. Then, there's no way she could go out with me. No way she could spend time with me. Like, during Natsuyasumi.
ちだが俺にはまだはるかがいる
Ah! What the hell's wrong with you?
お前は俺に残された最後の希望だお前しか立ち向かえる奴はいないんだ
中里先輩春日野くんにまでたかるなんてどういう了見ですかそうです春日野くんは先輩の便利な道具じゃありません
Yo, why is he into here?
おほサラウンドブースターを装備しやがった
誰がサラウンドですか
Wow, that was a nice sound boost. Even though she seemed mad on the surface, I could see that somewhere underneath she was having fun. It made me think that maybe this was enough for me. At least she wasn't avoiding me like when we were going to school this morning. Maybe this is as close as it can get to Kazuha, and any closer will only bring her pain. Isn't being able to watch her from here enough? I tried to convince myself that it was. But that vivid image of Kazuha's face as she broke down and crumbled into tears still haunted me. Trying to live while throwing everyone except Amatsume away. Isn't that hard on her? Could someone actually be happily to be happily living a life like that? Was Amatsume even? Perhaps this was just my lingering affection, but perhaps this was just because I didn't want her go. But even if it's true, I felt like I need to talk to her about that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to move on. Alright, here we go.
おっしゃー、今日の学校終了。
Ryohei started shouting the second homeroom ended. Ignoring him, I cast a sidelong glance toward Kazuha's seat. I just wanted to talk to her. However, we couldn't do it in public. I've wanted to ask her to come somewhere where we could finally be alone. After much hesitation, I decided to grab her attention as I headed in my... What the fuck is this sentence? After much hesitation, I decided to grab her attention as she headed in my as she headed in my direction. Kazuha stood up, rushed past me, and briskly walked over to Amatsume's seat.
アキラ、先に帰ってて。いいよ。寄り道はダメよ。じゃあ、後でね。
Just like that, she left the classroom without even looking at me. It didn't make me mad. I just felt empty, like my insides were being sucked out. I couldn't utter a single word. Even Ryohei, who was close by, couldn't joke about it.
はるか、お前何かしたのか?
Man, that is so noticeable that even Ryohei noticed. I'd expected that question. We had spent a lot of time together and become close friends. Damn. I found that Sora had already left when I went to her classroom to check on her, so I was alone on the way home. Man, even Sora was like, fuck this guy. Kazuha must have thought that going home with everyone must have been awkward. Once again, the image of her running away flashed in my mind. She wouldn't talk to me unless everyone else is there, huh? I heaved a deep sigh and let my heavy shoulders fall. Amatsume. And then I caught sight of Amatsume. I thought for sure she'd gone home with Ryohei, but there was no one else around. Ah. Right. Amatsume would know all about Kazuha. It was perfect timing now that she was alone. Oi! Amatsume!
ハルくん。
When I called her name, Amatsume immediately recognized me and stopped walking so I could catch up. Hey. I've got something to ask you.
いろいろごめんね、ハルくん。
As soon as I caught up to her, she apologized. I was at a loss for words.
カズちゃんはね、そこだよ。
Amatsume gave me a troubled smile, then turned around and gestured toward a small hut in the roadside. A hut? Huh? Kazuha? Once I recovered from being too surprised to think, I turned to look as well, but...
嘘。
Over there was Kazuha, trying to conceal herself in the shadows.
カズちゃん、なにしてるの？勘がいいんだから。
Wait, what exactly is Kazuha doing? What exactly is she doing? I'm a little confused. She's right. I hadn't noticed at all. But why was she hiding?
ハルくん、後で神社に来てね。
Huh? Her request caught me by surprise. By the time I spun around, she had already left me.
じゃ、お先に。
And just like that, she went running towards the jinja. Oh, I see. I see. Oh, Akira, man. Akira, you're the best. We stood there stunned, flustered, and speechless. After Amatsume went through all the trouble of giving me this chance, I couldn't even summon the courage to say anything.
さよなら、春日野くん。
With only a murmur, she turned her back to me. I can't let her go like that. I had to talk to her. This was probably the only chance I was going to get. I knew I had to stop her, but my mind was blank. Go in! Without thinking, I thrust my head downwards in the brow.
なんであなたが謝るの？謝るのは私でしょ。
Even so, she wasn't avoiding me anymore.
中途半端な気持ちであなたと付き合って、そしてあなたを傷つけた。あなたの気持ちには応えられないのに、分かってたのに、変な希望を抱かせて、今も辛そうな顔させてる。
But you're suffering too.
私はいいのよ。これは罰みたいなもの。
For Amatsume?
そうよ。私忘れていたの。とても大切なこと。
Even though she said that, regret was written all over Kazuha's face. It made me think that I was doing something cruel to her. My desire to talk things out with her was fading.
アキラと姉妹になれないんだったら、せめていつもそばにいよう。あの子のためだったら何でもしようって思っていたの。なのに私は春日野くんを好きになった。私だけが楽しい思いをして、あの子を一人ぼっちにして。私はそんな自分が許せないの。
I could sense the hesitation in her words as she bit her lip. Slowly, she uttered the same words as the ones on our final date. But you really...
もう言わないで。お願いだから。私はアキラとずっと一緒にいる。そう決めたのよ。
Kazuha.
それじゃ。
In the end, even as tears streamed down her watery eyes, I couldn't say anything. She looked so distraught and helpless the whole time. She told herself those things. She's so stubborn. I could only feel sorry for her suffering. Even though I wanted nothing more than to crush that stubborn thinking of hers. What could I possibly say to her? All I had was my love. There was nothing I could do. Who's Yahiro? Huh? Suddenly, I was elbowed in the back and almost fell forward. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, I forgot her. I can't believe I forgot her. I struggled to regain my balance and immediately turned around to apologize. Yahiro-san. She looked like she was in a really foul mood, as if no amount of apologies could dispel her anger.
ヤヒロさんじゃねえんだよ。たく邪魔しやがって。
Go in. Were you taking a photo? She was holding an expensive SLR camera. It would probably be rude to say I didn't expect her to have that sort of hobby. Plus, if I broke it, I don't know if she was going to let me leave here alive. But instead of yelling at me, she only clicked her tongue and tucked the camera behind her back, like she was embarrassed to be seen with it. At that moment, I instantly realized I could never speak of that camera. Okay, that's so random, but okay.
今日のところは見逃してやる。次からは気をつけろよ。
I can't tell if she's a terrifying demon or a kindly saint. Isn't Yahiro-san also someone that carefully deeps about Amatsume? If so, then wouldn't she also be able to understand their relationship? Hey!
だよ。私は忙しいんだ。
I want to ask you something about Amatsume, Migiwa-san. Is this what people mean when they say you're gasping at straws?
聞きたいことがあんなら本人に聞け。私は知らないね。
You know about their relationship, right? I had no proof whether or not she knew about it, but if she did, there's no way she would ignore what I just said. If she didn't know, then I had no idea what to do next.
関係ってあれか？腹違いのうんぬんってやつか？
Yeah, that's right, but... Huh? Why does it feel like she's implying, don't ask such obvious things?
てめえ、どこでそれを聞いた？
They told me themselves.
よそ者相手に甘いやつらだね。
Yahiro-san, what do you think of Amatsume?
はあ？
Or rather, have you ever thought that Amatsume was all alone suffering in her silence?
お前大丈夫か？
She stuck her hand on my forehead to check if I had a fever. I had a feeling she's not taking this conversation seriously at all. I don't have a fever.
ニョメの顔が笑ってるように見えねえんだったら、お前病院行けよ。
But Miguel-san seems to be sacrificing herself for Umatsume-san's sake.
ったくよ。
I tried so hard to argue back, but she cut me off by just scratching her head. It was like her way of telling me that continuing this argument would only annoy her more.
ガキの血は喧嘩に大人を巻き込もうとすんじゃねえよ。
Lovers.
てめえの頭ん中にあんのは右輪んとこのお嬢だろうが、ニョメはおまけだろ。
Well, yeah, you have to remember that Yahiro is all in for Akira, so, you know, from her perspective, it's like, this guy is like, that's それは。
だったらニョメのことなんか考えてねえで、お嬢をさらいに行きゃいいじゃねえか。
I mean, that is the right advice, technically. Technically.
右輪の親父も先生んとこの孫が相手なら意外と OK するかもしんねえぞ。
What are you saying, you idiot?
バカはてめえだ。
Stop making that scary face.
あのお嬢は甘えてんだよ。ずっとそばにいるなんざ何の根拠もねえガキの言い分だ。
Man, she's giving the real advice. I might actually check out her route in the Fandus.
なんじゃ誰も救えねえし誰も喜ばねえ。何もしてねえくせに何かした気にだけなれる欺瞞なんだよ。たくこんなくだらねえことに付き合わせやがって。
After finishing what she had to say, she turned away from me. Wait up, please, Yahiro-san. She was done with the conversation and then stopped this time. I mean, that was a really useful clue, so... Well, I didn't needlessly drag her into this, but if I'm going to talk Kazuha out of her stubborn attitude, then I shouldn't give up so easy. Or was there a hint in what she just said? I couldn't believe my ears. But did she really tell me to go after Kazuha? It's not easy making sense of Yahiro-san's kindness.
後で神社に来てね。
Now that I think about it, what she said earlier, I was surprised to see someone else at the jinja. Maybe I was a little too early. I could have walked away, but instead I hid in the corner and decided to eavesdrop. It was rude and selfish, but I thought that if I could help them, then... Kazuha stepped on the shrine grounds. Akira was in the middle of cleaning. She looked so pale and unsteady. Akira didn't recognize her at first. It was only when she heard the rustling of clothes as Kazuha sat down on the porch at the front shrine that Akira finally realized that it was her.
どうしたの？
She innocently asked the crestfallen Kazuha.
知ってるくせに。
To Kazuha, that innocence was detestable. Akira knew that Kazuha had tried to distance herself from Haruka for her sake. Despite that, she still tried to make her talk with Haruka. Akira replied with a gentle smile.
だってカズちゃん、ハルくんに話しかけづらそうにしてたから。だったらなおさら。でも、お話はしたいんだよね。だから、私はお邪魔かなって。
Akira's gleeful tone and cheerful smile didn't waver. She looked so innocent and carefree. But her expression still sent shivers down Kazuha's spine, as if she could see through her completely. If she really did know everything, she shouldn't have interfered.
もう、いいのよ、そんなこと。だから、もうそういうことは。そういうことって？彼とは、春日野くんとは、もう、なんでもないのよ。どうして？
Akira placed her warm hand on Kazuha's chest and felt her heartbeat. She was pushing past the excuses to let the sun's rays reach the depths of Kazuha's heart.
カズちゃん、無理してるよね。どうして？
Akira was pushing her so much that it was cruel. That smile was dreadful.
おかしなカズちゃん。どうしてわからないことするの？
Thank God you said that, man. She sounded calm and composed. Her voice resembled an Okachan scolding an unreasonable child. If you already know, You already understand everything. Then you shouldn't have to ask.
だから私は
Kazuha shouted, and her feelings exploded out of her.
私が原因なんだ
Akira's expression started to change to a calm and gentle but sad smile. "You finally told me," was written on her face. That gasp clearly said, "Oh no." But even if Kazuha sealed her mouth, those words could never be taken back.
カズちゃん嘘つくのいつも下手だね違うの浮かれてた私が全部悪かったの嬉しいことがあれば誰だって浮かれちゃうよでもそれじゃあなたがカズちゃんを苦しめてるのは私なんだね
Akira sat down next to her and placed her hand atop Kazuha's. She spoke as if trying to confirm every last detail. But Kazuha shook her head desperately, like she was trying to deny everything Akira had just said.
お姉ちゃんのせいじゃない私がそんなことないよ
Akira's face lit up once again with her usual cheerful smile.
私カズちゃんに好きな人ができてすっごく嬉しかったそれがハルくんでもっと嬉しかったでもねその気持ちに嘘をつくカズちゃんは悲しいよ嘘じゃないお姉ちゃんを置いて私一人が幸せなのは耐えられないカズちゃんが幸せなのに私は不幸にならないよどうしてそんなに私を突き放すのカズちゃんのこと大好きだよ
With one thread after another being torn away from her web of lies, Kazuha was forced to confront her true feelings, which she tried so hard to escape from. She loved Haruka, but her love for Akira was something that could never be measured. She felt Haruka's touch in her heart, but he could never replace that Akira that she so dearly loved. Haruka had Sora-san, but Akira had no one. All Akira had was me, and all I ever needed was Akira. So why? Why wouldn't Akira? Onea-chan, listen to me. Maybe Akira was ignoring me, like my mother and father.
なんで私の気持ちを分かってくれないのいつもお姉ちゃんのことばかり考えるのに
Brace? What? Wow! 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 Then suddenly, okay, that explains a lot of the things I was wondering about in the anime, where there was so much like Yuri vibes and all that stuff. Damn. So this was Oh, okay. Anyway, let's continue. Something sealed Kazuha's lips shut. Another tongue was at her mouth, tracing her lips. Shivers went down her spine, and her mind went completely blank.
じゃあ私だけを見てくれるんだ
As if sliding herself into that blank space, Akira whispered,
私だけを思ってずっと一緒にいて好きでいてくれる
That kind of voice was trying to fill Kazuha's blank mind.
私がカズちゃんを愛してるくらい愛してくれる
Even though they were both girls, even though they were it's that you know what, there is that, you know what, these two I think the Kazuha and Akira routes are one of the good setup routes. I mean, I know now Chan's route is like the ultimate setup route for Sora's route, but you know, there really is, I really think there is like a worthwhile thing to look into, like their individual routes and see how they would let you know a bit more about how things go in Sora's route. Even more dreadful than common sense was Akira, like calm water giving rise to a tsunami. Her Nesan's sudden advance in affection stirred something within Kazuha. In shock, she pulled herself away from Akira. And after distancing herself, she realized what she'd done.
違うの今の うじゃないの。
Akira accepted everything with a kind smile while she watched Kazuha apologize. Although Akira hadn't said anything, her eyes said, "Do you finally realize now?" At last, still frozen in place, Kazuha realized how foolish she had been. Through the power of girl-to-girl action, I guess. Kazuha ran away.
さよなら、カズちゃん。
Well, you know, that's one way for her to realize. Do you want that? Do you want that level? Okay. Anyway, Akira whispered those parting words to Kazuha as she sobbed and fled into the darkness. Well, you know, that was one way for her to realize something. Akira, the only one left after Kazuha ran away, headed toward me. She greeted me with a feeble smile. He knew I was here. I emerged from my hiding spot and realized that Akira wanted to show me that scene.
ハルくん、ごめんなさい。
Akira bowed her head deeply toward me, like how Motoka-san would bow to Kazuha. But I don't understand. Why would she do such a thing?
カズちゃんを縛ってたのは私だったね。姉妹だって分かってからカズちゃんに呪いがかかったみたい。
Noroi. She spoke Kazuha's sympathy for her like it was revolting. If that was a Noroi, how sinful is kindness?
この呪いを解くにはどうしたらいいのかな。私がいなくなっちゃえばいいのかな。
That wouldn't work. Even if she didn't mean that, such self-destructive thoughts were making me even more depressed. By the way, these are important, very important stuff to look into Akira's route, by the way. We're doing Akira's route next.
大丈夫。
Daijoubu.
変なことしないから。カズちゃん傷ついちゃうもんね。
I know you're not that kind of person.
ありがとう。
You don't need to thank me for something so little. I still haven't done anything yet. For the very reason that Kazuha cared so much for her, Akira put on that act, even going as far as to kiss her and force Kazuha to pull herself away. Even if I had to throw myself away, I don't want to burden you. You'll be happier with Haruka instead of me. That she didn't resent anyone was proof of her incomprehensible kindness.
ハルくん、私から言うのもおかしいけど、カズちゃんをお願い。
Okay. I gave her a nod and I dashed down the stairs after Kazuha. And kindness was a curse, and Kazuha wasn't the only one suffering. That same Noroi had the hold on Amatsume as well. It was something they both needed to be released from. Over-dependency. Anyway. Kazuha was growing weaker and couldn't keep her pace. I found her as soon as I left the jinja. Even from behind, she looked like she was wobbling dangerously. Right when I thought she needed help, she stumbled. I instantly broke into a sprint. But before I could reach her, Kazuha thrust out her hands like she was going to fall. Kazuha!
来ないで。
She had probably just gotten her crisp white uniform clean for a new semester, but now it was colored brown by the dust. Kazuha dropped to the ground and hugged herself out of shame, as if she was rejecting my touch.
来ないで。
She murmured that once again. However, I ignored her pleas and sat down beside her. I was such a pathetic boyfriend. How did she? I couldn't even stay by her side at a time like this.
私は最低よ。大事なものも突き放して、みんな傷つけて。
I put my hand on her shoulder and felt the trembles of her voice reverberating through her body. Although she flinched a little, she couldn't run away anymore.
あそこにいたの。
Ah,
じゃあ見たでしょ。私がひどいことをしたところ。アキラが大好きで、あの子のためなら何でもできる。あの子の全てを受け止められるってずっと思ってた。
I thought that I could accept her for who she was. I could see why Akira really went that far. Okay.
アキラのわがままを、気まぐれを受け止められるのは私だけだって思ってた。 は私だけなんだって、あの子を理解してるのは私だけだって、それが誇りだって、そう思ってた。
She clumsily blurted out everything on her mind.
なのに
And then started to tremble once again. She had probably recalled that kiss from before.
怖くて、あんなアキラ見たことなくて逃げて、あんなのアキラじゃないって、私のアキラじゃないって思ったら突き飛ばしてて、そしたらあの子笑って、私は思い知らされた。
By the way, important parallels in the Sora will eventually see that. Anyway.
私はアキラのことを何も見ていなかったんだって。私はアキラを理解したつもりになってただけなんだって。自分が信じられなくなった。私がしていた覚悟なんて張り子だったのよ。決心なんて何もできてなかったのよ。
It was heart-wrenching watching her break into tears while torturing herself over her own foolishness. Really? I don't think Kazuha was anything like the person she described herself as. The way I see it, your feelings for Amatsumi are real. Just look at how much you're suffering right now.
好きだって傷つけたらおしまいだ。
You really do love someone so much that you can't help it. There will be times that you can't help but hurt them. Even Amatsumi knew that what she did would probably have hurt Kazuha. But even then, she realized it had to be done for the sake of her Imoto's happiness. But Kazuha was losing sight of everything else by focusing on Amatsumi. You know you scold Amatsumi a lot, don't you?
それとこれとは違うわ。
You didn't want to sacrifice Amatsumi for the sake of your own happiness. And Amatsumi didn't want to rob you of your happiness because of her. Even though you were both looking at the same thing. Out of mutual kindness, they ended up hurting each other. And yet I was a bit envious at how much they loved one another. Lately, Sora's been waking up on her own. She's even going to and from school without me. Before, she'd be in a bad mood if I wasn't with her. But today, she went home with her classmates. Ah, she got over him. Nice. Not the best route, though. Even I was worried about things at first. But after watching you guys, I finally realized. Isn't this a good thing?
わからないわ。あなたが何を言ってるのかわからない。
I don't really get it either. I just want you to understand that it's not because I started hating Sora, and it's not because Sora started hating me. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's because Sora and I are brother and sister.
私とアキラは
I realized that you two really are Shimai. Both of you are extremely similar. The way you think, the things you do, even though your personalities are so different. As my kanojo, I love you. As my kanojo's Oneya-san, I also love Amatsumi. I also like Amatsumi. What? Are we getting that? No, just kidding. This is not a lesser work, right? Right? I mean, there are times when that is the only keynote option, but here, you know, it's a work that you know, there's stakes involved. I mean, it's not as if there wasn't stakes involved with the with Otomeki's true ending. It's just that you know, this has a different you use a different lens for this. Anyway, so I want the both of you to be happy. If you're suffering, I want to be able to share your suffering. I want to help no matter how small it is.
私はあなたを傷つけたのに。
But I still love you nonetheless. So much so that I feel your pain more than my own. So that's why I want you to share your burdens with me. The things you're worried about. The things you're suffering from. And we'll think about them together, okay?
はるか
Kazuha clung to the back of my neck, and then reached around her waist and gently hugged her.
私ははるかに優しくされる資格なんて何もないのに。
We treat you kindly because we love you. Both me and Amatsume. It's the same way you love us. We love each other. Isn't that a good enough reason? It's because of our love that we misunderstand. It's because of our love that we must go separate ways. Because we only think of each other. We mistake the wrong choices for the right ones. Kazuha and Amatsume were put in a complex relationship like me and Sora. Like, this is a foreshadowing line. I'm sure you and Amatsume will be fine together. But do you think there's room for me too?
話したくない。はるかのぬくもりも優しさもアキラの笑顔も。
You won't. No way. I'll make sure of that. There are people who love Kazuha, like Amatsume and me. People that watch over us. If we open our eyes, we can find the right answer. We returned to the Kazuha's estate. The first thing we had to do is change Kazuha out of her dirt-stained uniform. Oh, okay, alright, okay, alright. I know what's going to happen next.
ありがとう、はるか。
I'm your koibito. Taking you home is the least I can do.
もう上がっていく。
Huh? I remember what happened the last time. At that time, we ran into her otosan. Kazuha's otosan, huh? Isn't your family home?
どうかしら。
Oh. Of course. Kazuha thought carefully.
お客様かね。カズ。
Oh, he's here.
お父様。
We turned towards his voice and saw Kazuha's otosan coming down the stairs. Instantly, Kazuha's face tensed up.
ああ、先生のところのはるかくんだったね。いらっしゃい。
He met my gaze with a dignified smile and bowed deeply. It would be normal for Karashi to start panicking when suddenly meeting her Kanajo's otosan, but this was my chance. I instantly remembered what Yahiro had said, take her away. But putting that aside, I can't release Kazuha and Amatsume from their curse if I don't talk to the man who started all of this. Migiwa-san, I have something important to say. Is this a bad time? After bowing politely, I stepped in front of him.
はるか。
Kazuha called my name uneasily. Oh, really? First name basis.
なんだか真剣だね。まるで結婚の許しでも壊れるかのようだ。
Oh, damn. Yes, I'm asking I'm asking for your permission to enter a relationship with Kazuha-san.
はるか。
But base? That's how you should do it, like a real man. My bold reply had Kazuha's otosan at a loss for words. Because we're still students, I haven't thought about marriage yet, but I intend to take this relationship seriously.
カズハ、本当なのか。
はい。お父様。
Would he yell, turn me away, or perhaps even hit her? But if I want him to seriously accept our relationship, then I had to talk to him directly.
話というのはそのことかね。
He couldn't hide his uneasiness, but at least he hasn't gotten angry. I felt like he was ready to hear me out, so I continued. No, it's about Amatsume.
君はどこまで知っているんだね。
Zenbu. Kazuha and Amatsume told me themselves.
そうか。
Upon hearing Amatsume's name, a cold anger flashed on his face, then disappeared with a quiet grunt. I couldn't help but think of how much that expression reminded me of Kazuha.
君が知っていることは全て事実だ。彼女には申し訳ないと思っている。
And that's when I knew for sure that this man loved both Kazuha and Amatsume. I don't think Amatsume would want an apology.
そうだろうか。
Amatsume's told me before that she's happiest as long as there's someone there to stand by her side and support her. Even if they can't live in the same house, just being by her side would be enough. For years, all Kazuha has done is think about how she could help Amatsume. Since you have been absent, she's been doing this in your place. After going out with me, she even tried to end our relationship. She couldn't abandon Amatsume, even if it meant sacrificing her own happiness. I couldn't tell if my words reached his heart, but I at least wanted him to realize what Kazuha has done, what Amatsume has done, and everything that has been weighing on their minds ever since. I wanted him to know that everyone was trying their happiness. Amatsume hated the idea of someone giving up their happiness for her. Rather than splitting your family apart by living with Kazuha, she thought it would be better to live her life alone at the Jinja. When Kazuha tried to break up with me, she even tried to make Kazuha hate her. She wanted to push her Shimai away so that Kazuha would come back to me. Amatsume's capacity for sympathy is without limit. She's kind beyond belief. That's probably why Yahiro-san acts like she's using her. She knows that Amatsume wouldn't want to feel like she's a burden. That's how Yahiro-san figured out how to deal with Amatsume. And Kazuha is exactly the same. She loves you, her Ka-san and Amatsume, so she thought of a way to not lose anyone, to keep everything from falling apart. Everyone was trying their hardest to think about what they could do. Kazuha's father, Oto-san, took everything in without saying a word, and Kazuha didn't cut in either. Was any of this reaching his heart? I don't know. But all I could do was tell him about everything I've heard and seen, everything I've seen. Please, watch over both of them. Please, face them head on without looking away. I know it must be very hard on you, but if you continue to run away, it will continue to be painful. Kazuha and the people around her will keep suffering. This isn't about duty or responsibility. Doka, just think about them and watch over them. I think this is the only way for them all to be happy. I had said everything I could. I had laid my feelings bare.
そうか。
That one short phrase was all Kazuha's Oto-san muttered before he went silent again and stood deep in thought. After a while, he opened his eyes.
君はやはり先生方のお孫さんだな。
Man, we passed the charisma check. Holy shit. He finally spoke. It sounded like he was touched by what I said.
昔同じことを言われたよ。先生の奥さんにね。難しいことは後でみんなで考えればいい。まずは向き合いなさいと。
There was a solemn mix-up emotion in his smile. It was like he had said something he had been waiting to say for a long time.
今ここで再び聞くとは思わなかった。ありがとう。誰もが口にすることはきっと真理なのだろうな。
He extended his hand toward me. It caught me off guard, but I took his hand.
カズハが変わったのも君のおかげだね。
Yeah, that's...
カズハたちをよろしく頼むよ。
It was so sudden I stood there, stunned by what he had just said. I was so embarrassed.
お父様。
カズハ、仲良くするんだよ。
お父様。
At last, all three of us smiled. A kuruma emerged from inside the estate and slowly came up beside us. The chauffeur got out of the driver's seat and opened the passenger door. Kazuha's Oto-san put one foot inside the car, then turned around and said,
間違いはそうと気づいた時に正せたはずなのにな。いつから間違っていたんだろうか。
His voice was soft and thoughtful. Nice. Pass the speech check. Oh. I fucking remember how the anime ended, man. I fucking remember. Alright. Alright. It looks like I'm cutting something out tonight. And I'm also way over time. I'm still gonna read Sakura Moyu. So, this is Kazuha's room. Yeah. It's huge. And everything was so tidy. The CDs and records were lined up in alphabetical order, methodical, very much like her. There were even some giant speakers, a record player, and a visibly expensive high-fidelity audio system. I guess she doesn't just play the viola, but also listens to classical music. The room was almost large enough to make me bend backward. It's been a while since I was last reminded of her oujo-samas status. Speaking of Kazuha, she's gone to change out of her school uniform, which got dirty when she fell.
失礼します。
Motoko-san,
お茶をお持ちいたしました。ってはるかくんじゃない。
you just know.
もうお嬢様がお客様だって言うから緊張してたのに脅かさないで。
Motoko-san knocked and entered with a prim smile. She almost seemed like a stranger with that prudent speech of hers, but there was no mistaking Motoko-san. I wasn't trying to surprise you. Well, I see you're doing your job diligently.
失礼ね。お給料だってちゃんともらってるんですからね。
Even though your etiquette collapses the moment you find out the guest is an acquaintance.
痛いところを。
She had a little frown, but Motoko more or less returned to work mode and poured the tea. A cup for me and then one more.
どうぞ。
Don't tempt me to start Motoko's route. I heard it's not that good. I mean, that's why the anime just relegated her route like for the last 10 minutes of each episode. Or even less. Thanks. If she's this polite, I'm going to get nervous too. Right, I was about to take the cup from her. Kazuha returned.
待たせちゃったわね。
Kazuha was in a kimono. It's been a while since I've seen her dressed like this. Man, she really dresses in a kimono when at home. And I remember how this ends, this route.
お嬢様、お茶が入っております。ありがとう、乃木坂さん。もう下がって構いませんよ。はい。では、ごゆっくり。
I like that smile from her. She was like, as Motoko-san took her leave, I think I caught a glimpse of her mission screwed. She fucking knows what's going to happen. I hope she doesn't misunderstand anything. Oh, no. She doesn't misunderstand. She knows. Were your clothes okay?
ええ。転んで汚すなんて子供の頃のようですね。なんて、タタラさんには笑われたけど。
With a weary smile, she took a slow sip from the tea that Motoko-san had poured. I followed suit and took a sip as well. It was surprisingly good. The aroma was completely different from what I brewed at home with tea bags. I didn't have that strange bitterness and slid straight down my throat. Oh yeah, I'm gonna drink some tea after this. I just remembered. We really bought some really good genmaicha. Loose leaves. But I'm just drinking them cold. But anyway, she even got the temperature right. It was pleasant and not too hot. I quickly gulped down the refreshing cup of tea.
ずいぶん喉が渇いてたのね。
She stifled a laugh while pouring me another cup. It was only then I realized how thirsty I was. Thanks. And today's string of bizarre events continued.
お礼を言わなきゃいけないのは私の方よ。今日だけじゃないけど、あなたに助けてもらってばかりだったわ。
No, it's just that you become honest with your feelings.
そうできたのもあなたのおかげよ。お父様に付き合ってるって言ってくれた時も驚いたけど嬉しかったわ。
Well, I was really nervous at the time. And then we broke into a laughter. It felt like we had just overcome a mountain.
改めて告白させて。
Kazuha locked her gaze with mine, and I found myself lost in her deep, beautiful eyes. Time froze around us. I could relish this moment forever.
私はあなたのことが好き。付き合ってください。
I love you too. Nothing would make me happier than going out with you. And not a moment after saying that, we threw ourselves at each other in a fierce embrace.
私こ の幸せを離さない。お姉ちゃんが応援してくれて願ってくれてる恋だから。
Damn, just went straight there. I hugged her tightly from behind and started kissing her just like that. Kazuha's lips were wet, and like she had been waiting eagerly for it all this time. We sucked at each other's lips, while inside our mouths our tongues were entwined. Kazuha broke away for a moment, and then giggled. Oh, wait.
こんな風なキスは初めてって思ったの。
Oops, I double clicked. What? Was there something strange? You didn't like it?
その逆。好きだわ。エッチなのに少しもいやらしくない。
I'm not making the sounds anymore.
どこにキスしてるのよ。
Your neck.
平然と答えないで。
I ran my mouth from the back of her ear to the nape of her neck, kissing and sucking her on her skin. She was a little embarrassed and trying to hide it. By the way, that's a good zone, by the way. I mean, you doing it. Stolen.
くすぐった。
Her skin was light, silky smooth, which let my lips glide over it. My nose pressed up against her neck. Also got a good whiff of her fresh, slightly soapy fragrance. She took a bath before they met up again. A floral scent waved up from her hair. Did you just take a bath?
シャワーよ。簡単にね。汚れていたし。
Ooh, got ready for something, huh? Wait, our guy didn't take a shower. Oh, really? Yeah, it smells good.
匂い嗅がないでよ。恥ずかしいわ。
I love this aroma, though. Well then, I guess I'll just have to settle for kissing.
我慢って何よ。
I kissed her lips gently and once again started licking her nape. Then slowly, I brought my hand to her breast. I ignored Kazuha's yelp and slowly cupped her mouth.
全然我慢なんてしてないじゃない。
I never said I would stop at just kissing. While I continued to plant kisses on her nape, I caressed her breasts, making circles with my hands over her clothes. Your breathing is getting heavier, isn't it?
あなたが変なとこにキスしたり触ったりするからよ。
Because I don't want to let you go, Kazuha.
こんなに強く抱きしめられてたら離れることなんてできないわ。
Yeah. Then I'll have to hold you in my arms forever, right?
もう
I couldn't get a good feel of her breast because of the way her stash was tied around her. However, I know that underneath are her pretty, perfectly shaped breasts. I'm touching you, but you don't feel it because of these Japanese clothes, huh?
十分くすぐったいわ。はるかの手つきがいやらしいから。
Kazuha, your breasts are so big.
そういうこと言うのやめて。気にしてるのよ。
Huh? Saying the fact that they're big?
お姉ちゃんが遊びで揉んでくるの。育ったねって言いながら。お姉ちゃんに揉まれて大きくなっただなんておかしいじゃない。笑わないでよ。 よ。真剣なんだから。
Gomen, Gomen. But the two of you rub each other's breasts just like that? Huh?
私は揉まないわよ。アキラが勝手に揉んでくるだけ。
So, that's how it is. Kazuha likes being touched, huh? Like this. I put more strength into my grip so that she would feel it through her clothes.
そんなんじゃないわ。お姉ちゃんが触っていいって聞いてくるから断れないだけ。
Kazuha, you sure love Amatsume, don't you? If you love her, you have to make up with her, right? Kazuha went step from surprise. Maybe she just remembered the moment when she refused Amatsume. We'll have to have a serious talk with her, right? It seems Kazuha understood what we needed to do. However, she was too distraught by what she had done to nod back at me. Would it be better if Amatsume was here right now? What?
何言い出すのよ。
She'll be sitting in the chair. The corner chair. Playing Night Rain. If we had sex together, then maybe you could be honest with your feelings. What the fuck? These are Kino lines.
バカなこと言わないで。
Even though you really want to be with her all this time.
それとこれとは違うわよ。アキラは好きだけどエッチは別よ。こんなことできるのははるかとだけよ。でもこんなこと言わせないで。
Kazuha shut her mouth right when she finished talking, entrusting me with her body. But I had no intention of letting her have the last word. I whispered into her ear. Are your feelings towards me and Amatsume so different?
違わないけどアキラは私をおもちゃにしてくるから。
Kazuha, you also call me mean a lot, don't you?
それはだって
That's no good. That's not good. You have to confront, put Amatsume in yourself, right?
意地悪。
I'm saying this because I want you to be honest.
話がすり替わって。
Anyway, welcome back. I fucking hate that they actually had an actual conversation in the middle of the H scene. Mandatory, plot relevant H scene, by the way. Let's see if we can read something interesting. I mean, actual text. I mean, they were actually they were actually having a conversation while having sex. When Amatsume kissed her, maybe she really meant it. Maybe she too wanted to pass her feelings to Kazuha like that. Kazuha, you know Amatsume? It's okay, but you know, I understand. The truth is, I understand. I'm just scared. I end up thinking that Akira doesn't care about me. Even if she knows that can't be true, she probably can't help but consider the possibility. I felt Kazuha's uneasy throbbing through the point where we connected. Got it. Then my job. Oh, you didn't see that. Well, it's blurred out. Don't worry. Got it. Then my job is to erase her anxiety. If her feelings reach me, my feelings should reach her too. I'll give you so much love so that your anxiety will disappear, Kazuha. You know, like. Wait, no. Okay, so this is the usual stuff. Okay. This is just lovey-dovey talk. At times like this, all I want is to make Kazuha mine. I didn't want to leave any for Amatsume. I was melding. Okay, stuff like that. Okay, let's get to where they actually start talking while having sex. Okay, there you go. Then we climax simultaneously and exchange kisses through our heavy panting. Then we just looked at each other's eyes while continuing to peck at each other lightly.
幸福が他人の犠牲で成り立ってることを知って、あなたに幸せをもらった分アキラが不幸になってるんじゃないか。
Kazuha, you're misunderstanding again. I'm not your only joy. Our happiness fueled by each other and those around us blossom. Don't think that it's something that you can only receive from someone else. Just think, I'm happy with confidence.
そうなのね。
It's okay not to let go of this happiness, right? Oh, that's her life.
幸せは手放さなくてもいいのね。
Yeah. And then we can share it together with Amatsume. Together with everyone.
そうする。そうするわ。
I believe it was those words that made her take another step forward. While I was having sex with Haruka, I confronted my own feelings.
私ははるかが好きだけど、アキラも好きで、アキラとも仲直りしたい。でもアキラにどんな顔で会えばいいのかまだわからない。まずは謝らないといけない。それは分かってる。でもばっかり。こんな臆病な性格だから選択を間違ってしまうんだろう。アキラみたいに大胆にできたり、はるかみたいに深く考えられたらいいのに。
お嬢様、
なんでしょう。
ご気分が優れないようでしたらお送りいたしますが。
山梨さんが私の迷いを見て取り、車を拭く手を止める。ありがとうございます。でも大丈夫ですから。それにお父様をお送りしなければならないでしょ。でもその気遣いに甘えることはできない。向き合わないといけないってはるかが教えてくれたから。
お嬢様がそうおっしゃるのでしたら。
一礼して車の手入れに戻る山梨さんの背中を見て、また気持ちが沈んだ。門を出てから一歩が進まない。もう少し時間を遅らせれば学校に着くまで、いや教室に入るまでアキラと会わなくて済むかもしれない。なんて弱気なんだろう。
お嬢様、やはりお車を。
だから
おい、Kazuha!
断りづらい2度目の気遣いに割って入るこの声。はるか。私が驚いている間にはるかはすぐそこまでやってきていた。
おはよう、Kazuha.
おはよう。どうしたの？
What am I? Oh, I came to pick you up. I thought that maybe we could head to school together.
そしてスッと手を差し出してくる。はるかはまた私の背中を押してくれようとしてる。大好きな人の手を私は迷うことなく取りたかった。でもこの手を掴んだ途端、目の前のはるかがアキラに化けて、私が拒絶したように掴んだ手を振り払われるんじゃないかって。
Amatsume wants you to be happy from the bottom of her heart. She has no reason at all to hate you.
はるかは私の迷いを見透かしたかのように強引に手を取った。当たり前だけどはるかははるかのままだったし、手を振り払われもしなかった。
See?
はるかが指し示した先には、カズちゃん、はるくん。笑顔で大きく手を振るアキラの姿。隣には迷惑そうな表情のソラさん。
Oh, Sora's here. Wow.
それは今までと少しも変わってない光景に見えた。
No, actually, I'm surprised Sora's even here. Let's go. 行こうか。
二人に向かって走り出すはるかに連れられて、私も走り出す。後ろで山梨さんが車は必要ないようですねと苦笑していた。
Amatsume. Sorry to make you wait.
待ってたよ、はるくん。 カズちゃん。おはよう。ああ、2人はちゃんと仲直りしたんだね。よかった。
It's all thanks to you.
アキラ、私は。
Kazuha was straining herself. She seemed to be tensing up, or maybe she was anxious. I grasped her hand slightly to try and support her while she slowly summoned the courage to face Amatsume.
分かってるよ、カズちゃんの気持ち。
Kazuha hung her head in response to Amatsume's apology. To Kazuha, I'm sure that it was like a load that had been taken off her chest. And then she slowly looked up to meet Amatsume's gaze, tears welling the corners of her eyes.
ごめんね。
Sora just standing there learning about things right then and there. Anyway, overcome with regret and anguish, she tearfully embraced Amatsume. Even Sora was amazed at the sudden change in atmosphere. Her eyes went wide with astonishment, which was so amusing it made me laugh inside. At least it's a good thing they remembered that Sora was just watching the whole thing.
変わらないよ。どんなことがあっても、カズちゃんと私の気持ちはこれからもずっとね。
Oh wait, that's one.
変わらない。変わらないよ。
They shared a deep embrace. Finally, they've been set free from the wounds they had been carrying in their hearts. If they can making peace like this, then I'm sure that someday.
でも、2人のラブラブはお邪魔しちゃおうかな。それぐらい構わないわ。羨ましがるくらい見せつけてあげる。
She nodded deeply, as if reassuring us that nothing was wrong, then suddenly locked her arms with me and Akira.
アキラもハルカも2人とも嫉妬するくらい2人ともとラブラブしてやるんだから。
Guys, Sora is here. What about Sora? Guys? Arm in arm with both of us, she made that outrageous declaration. But, I can live with this.
2人、3人付き合ってるの？
Base, wanna join? Wanna join? How about you, Sora? You wanna join? And of course, Sora being the only one out of the loop was at a total loss. Kazuha's laughter was infectious and had me crackling up too.
そうなんだよ。今度2人の邪魔一緒にしようね、ソラちゃん。
Amatsume slipped free from Kazuha and trotted over Sora to link arms with her instead. I tried to suppress another giggle at the sight of Sora standing there, completely dumbfounded. How long will it be until we can have this much fun together and laugh from the bottom of our hearts? A laugh more fulfilling than even the joy of being alone with Kazuha. Maybe it's true that good fortune and happiness comes to those who smile.
楽しそうにしているね。
お父様。
おはよう、皆さん。
Stepping out of the kuruma that had just stopped beside us came Kazuha's otosan. His greeting and warm smile evaporated our nervous tension. My intuition told me that something good was about to happen again.
アキラ。近いうちにまたうちに遊びに来てほしい。
いいんですか？
ああ、久しぶりにゆっくり話をしよう。これまでのこと、これからのことをね。はい。それじゃあ気をつけて行ってきなさい。
We watched Kazuha's father leave. So convenient. Then started walking again. I was holding hands with Kazuha once more, who was stuck in disbelief. She nodded vigorously.
またカズちゃん家にお呼ばれしちゃった。よかったわ。
Kazuha was moved to tears while Amatsume fidgeted around. Sure enough, the little visit wrought indescribable joy.
朝っぱらから賑やかだな。お前らなんで腕なんか組んで。特にアキラ、俺のソラちゃんと組んだりして羨ましすぎるぞ。
Get fucked.
りょう兄ちゃんも組む？
俺も混ざる。
い
Hands clasped together, we took off.
カズちゃん待って待って急に走らないで
Wow. Sora.
俺を置いてかないでくれ
Just then, a light breeze blew in, lifting Kazuha's hair. As I witnessed the fascinating sight, I began to think, これからの I'll be watching after Kazuha. My dear Imoto and everyone else. My Kazuku. We are so bad. Kazuku again. A nostalgic tune echoed throughout the shrine grounds. With its gentle rhythm came a soothing feeling. If I close my eyes, it feels like I'm being wrapped in my mother's arms. All my worries are melting away. If I stay like this, I might just fall asleep.
ちょっと今クーって言ったでしょ。寝てたでしょ。寝てないよ。
I'm not sleeping either, alright?
今の演奏どうだった？
How can I put it? It had a relaxing, pleasant feel to it, like a lullaby.
もう少し具体的に言ってよ。そんなんじゃ直しようがないわ。
I don't know what you want me to say. I'm not a viola teacher.
アキラなんかずっと寝てるしね。そんなことないよ。ちゃんと聞いてたって。まあいいわ。どうせアキラじゃまともな感想は聞けないもの。はるかも同じだったけど。なんだかはるかだんだんアキラに似てきてるわ。
Really?
そうやって無邪気なふりするところとかがね。でもこの間はすごかったよね。
Yeah, at the conclude.
全然わかってないくせに。わかってるって。
After rummaging around, Amatsume pulled out a scrap of paper from a pocket inside her robes. It was a snippet from the local paper, printed in black and white, with a large picture of Kazuha.
もうコンクールで賞取っちゃうんだからすごいんだよ。
There was an article about the local music concours a few days ago where Kazuha won a prize. You couldn't exactly call it a major competition, but since this was only her debut, it was plenty impressive. The school club seems to be doing well too.
まあ興味を持ってくれる人も出てきたし、ここにも日本クラシック界を背負って立つ次世代のビオリストって大きく書いてあるよ。
And I miss a certain Ojo who had like also the yamatonadeshiko hairstyle, but she played the piano. Anyway.
大げさなのよそれは。地元びいきなだけよ。こっちの新聞にもほら。
Amatsume pulled out one newspaper clipping after another.
一体いくつ持ってるのよ。
Well, even I have a book with newspaper clippings in my house.
今度も頑張ってね。また応援に行くから。いいわよもう。この前も2人して寝ちゃってとても恥ずかしかったんだから。恥をかくのはもうたくさんよ。
With a little exasperated frown, she resumed playing. It was her usual tune, the one her Okasan taught her. A peaceful, tender melody, so much so that I wonder if she's purposely trying to put us to sleep. She wore a gentle smile from the Okasan, singing a lullaby to her child, huddled together, shoulder to shoulder. We'll keep listening to that tune for now and forevermore.
Sophia! Yosuga no Sora.
All right, that is Kazuha's route. The next route we're going to go is Akira's route. My thoughts, I will keep them for the next tomorrow's upload, tomorrow's read-through, because I want to get started with Sakura Moyu. Well, actually, I have to check something work-related, then cut out some stuff and upload, then I'm going to start reading Sakura Moyu. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll see you guys in the next upload, or in Sakura Moyu. Ciao.
「懐かしき